So the Google Pixel 6 is one of my favorite phones Google's ever made. I think it was a really good departure from the phones that they used previously, but looking at the Google Pixel 6 as of right now, I think it's an even better deal than it was before. These phones have gone down in value so much, and I would personally probably recommend buying it for sure. I mean, there's not really a big reason why I wouldn't recommend buying this thing. I think they're very solid phones for sure. Now on the front, you are getting a 6.4-inch AMOLED display. It's a 1080p panel, 90 Hz, and it was a good display for the most part. It's not a perfect display. I don't think there's ever been a perfect display except for maybe like an S23 Ultra right now. But this phone, a hole punch display, a little bit of bezel around it, but I think it's a really decent looking phone. And I do think still to this day that the Pixel 6 definitely gets a thumbs up for me for sure. Now we are getting a USB Type-C charger on the bottom, which is awesome. On the back, you're getting a glass back, dual camera setup. Really good stuff. There's not really anything super crazy going on with this phone that we haven't seen before. We're getting wireless charging, we're getting reverse wireless charging, which I forgot about, and it's a good quality phone. Again, pretty decent IP certification. There's not really a whole lot of things to complain about here, which is pretty good on my side. Now on top of that, I would say the camera quality is still fairly decent. You're getting that wide and ultra wide camera, and that's a pretty decent amount of capability to have on a kind of budget tier, not budget, but kind of a cheaper phone. You're only getting 1080p on the front though, but you are getting 4K at 60 on the back. So it kind of evens out, but I still feel like a phone that came out in like 2021, that this phone should have easily at least had 4K at 30 on the front and 1080p at 60 on the front, like the Pixel 7. Unfortunately, this phone did not have it. So not the end of the world, but again, one of those minor things to keep in mind. Now on top of that, you are also getting pretty long software updates on this type of device. We've talked heavily on these types of phones and essentially how these types of phones hold up throughout the duration of time. And Pixels do a really good job at basically handling most things that you throw at it. So I do feel like with the Pixel 6, again, it's a really good performing phone in terms of software because it's going to be supported and because Google makes the software. So they're going to support this thing for basically as long as they can. So that pretty much gets a thumbs up from me too. Now in terms of performance, this thing internally had that first generation Google Tensor chipset. Now this Tensor chipset was very interesting because they basically made it and they've been going through and making improvements and performance improvements, but I still feel like they could be doing a little bit of a better job. And once again, I am curious to see what Google ends up doing for the future and for the duration of the Pixel series and for the Google Tensor chipset in particular. So for small things, for big games, for smaller applications, and for big applications, this thing is going to be perfectly fine. I think I feel like this is going to be good for a lot of people. The only thing I've seen this phone kind of limited in is basically like emulation gaming. But beyond that, I think it's a very good phone. And just that, aspect alone gets a thumbs up for me as well. So to kind of sum up this whole entire video, what I'll definitely tell you is the Google Pixel 6, I think is still a very good phone to buy. I think Google did a tremendous job with this phone back in 2021. And although it wouldn't be the first phone I would recommend people to buy, I think it's a good phone. And I think there's still a lot of quality there. But would is this a better phone than maybe like a Samsung Galaxy S21? In some ways, yes. And in some ways, no. The S21 also came out in 2021, so that's the only reason why I bring that up. And because of that, I'll be like, well, weigh your options. If you like a more stock version of Android, go for the Pixel 6. But if you want a lot more features with a way better camera, the S21 would probably be the better way to go. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that helps me so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.